Hello and welcome to our review of Kawasaki's brilliant little ZX-4RR.
Would you like fries for that? Would you like fries for that? Would you like fries for that?
What a little pocket rocket this is.
We were a little surprised when this bike came back. Now obviously the ZX-400 was a big thing back in the 90s, be it the bikes they brought in, lots of grey imports, that kind of thing. It was very, very popular. There are still people riding and racing them today. But that class, the kind of 400cc class, inline four, kind of vanished a long time ago. You kind of had people hanging on to, you know, the little Honda NC30s and things. We just did not expect for there to be a new one. And then Kawasaki came along and went, here you go, brand new ZX-4RR. Absolutely great, we thought, didn't we?
Yeah.
But then, especially talking to some of our colleagues who were like, who is this bike for? We described it at the time as a journo bike. It was the kind of bikes that us journos would get on, we would rag the life out of and love it and say it's great, but then wonder who was going to buy it. And I'm glad to say we were wrong.
I've had this for a week now, and you know, I enjoy most of the bikes that I ride, and some of them give me that Bisto feeling. This thing, it's just freaking fun. There is so much to be said. Where are you going? Okay. Once you've gone on more powerful bikes, going back down and riding them properly. Dude. Oh, the sounds of bollocks.
Not only were we wrong, but now there's going to be competition in this space for this bike. So you've got the Kove 450R that you saw at BSB. You've got the CF Moto Voom 500, and there's a whole bunch of other 500cc little inline fours coming along. And they also play in the same arena as some of the road sport bikes that we like. So Kawasaki's own Ninja 650, Suzuki's 8R. For context, we chucked this bike on the JHS Dyno last year. Okay, Wills, what have we got?
So we did 3 different runs in 4th, 5th and 6th gear, just to see if there was any difference on them. Slight differences in a couple of places between the various gears, but peak figure is the same, 67, 35 newton meters of torque.
That's
our best.
actually probably more than I was expecting, to be fair.
And it's making flat 30. It's over 30 foot-pound, 30 newton meters of torque from 6,000 RPM.
So how does this feel like on the dyno compared to the road?
On the road, I felt when we got to about 13,000 RPM, it went flat. It just didn't want to pull on the road. But that doesn't equate to what we're seeing on the dyno.
No, the curve still keeps going.
The curve still keeps going till 14.5, 14 and a quarter, and then we got 500 RPM of over rev, which is strange. But apart from that, we got a nice, you can definitely feel the torque between 6 and 10,000 RPM. You can feel how nice and flat it is on the road, and it equates that on the dyno. It's a lot better than the old 400, the old smoke bombs. It's a really interesting bike, isn't it?
The only thing for me is if you got caught in the wrong gear sometimes, you'd be like, bollocks, you'd have to bash it down 3 gears.
Yeah, if you're going some, it is, but it quietly sits at 8 miles an hour on the road in like 5th and 6th gears, and you wind it on it. It goes very quickly, but
Around town and stuff, it was perfectly usable.
yeah. And you don't need to worry about pulling. Well, we had the conversation about pulling away in 2nd and 3rd gear. I got to the bottom of the yard and forgot I was in second gear and pulled away from a standstill on it. And
Yeah.
realised
No.
it does it.
Yep.
Doesn't hesitate.
But overall, we're pretty impressed. Bravo, Kawasaki. So isn't it mad how they make about the same kind of power, but as you know, the Suzuki is, well, what's the Suzuki about? It's about that bottom end and mid-range hit, right?
Yeah.
Whereas this is just all revs and... But we had one last year, and we had it in December, which isn't the best time of year to have one, but even though it was brilliant, absolutely brilliant, Gemma totally fell in love with it.
It's such a usable, lower range bike. If you want to go in stages from a little 125 then up to this, then a 650 and so on and so forth, this would be a great step up in my opinion. I absolutely adored the SV650. It was a fabulous bike. It's a great first big mid-range bike. But if you're more of a sportier person and you like this type of style, then this would be your go-to.
We've just got this back on the back of Gemma having Fireblades, ZX-10s, R9s, and I won't lie, I was a little bit worried thinking, oh, she's going to get on it after all this power and go, meh. And I did have that slight concern that there was going to be a lot of meh going on, and how much she had loved it last year was going to have vanished, but
Absolutely not. I get excited about getting on this bike. I'll tell you a little story. I was not in the greatest of headspace. I was feeling very, very down. I had to travel quite a long way and I thought, should I go, especially being in the headspace that I was in? I put my lid on, I started that bike up, and the instant I started to go, the smile and the beam, and I find myself laughing because I just love this bike, the sound, the feel, the everything that bike gives me. I freaking love it. I can have so much fun on this bike, and I just look at people and go, she's having fun, and I am, and it's only a 400 cc.
We had to prise you off the Fireblade, basically, literally prise you off it. And then you jumped on the CBR 600, and initially you were a bit like, meh. A little bit initially. You overcame that, of course, and ended up really liking, because the 600's kind of similar to that in a way. You've got to really rev it to get the best out of it.
I think for me it's an instant thing. If I don't get that instant thing, then I cut it off, and I shouldn't do. But this was an instant. Everything. And the sound. I find myself going on the motorway, and you know them 50-mile-an-hour zones, the irritating one, popping it down and then just seeing that, oh, it's national speed limit, and then popping it down again and just go bam, bam.
Kawasaki howl. The Kawasaki.
They've got it. On.
Absolutely spot on. And something else about this bike as well that I quite like is, and again something you pointed out about it, was even though it's technically a little super sport bike, actually the bars are
it's in between.
Yeah.
A road and a sport.
Yeah, road sport and super sport. It is in between. The seat's quite low.
Yep.
And the bars are just that little bit higher, and that just makes it more accessible for lots of people. It also gives a lot of control over the chassis as well.
Yeah. Which,
by the way, is really good. So we were coming on the way here, and we're going over some big, like, sleeping policemen. I'm on the JHS 1000, and I'm kind of like, let's just, stand up a little bit. No, just barreling straight over them. And I'm watching the suspension as she does it, because I know the suspension is, yes, it's road set, but it's sporty.
Yeah.
But I didn't expect it to deal with a sleeping policeman at whatever stupid speed you hit it at so nicely. You didn't even get chucked out.
I was going 30 miles an hour.
Sure you were. But you weren't even kicked out of the seat or anything.
No, the feel that the whole package gives you is nice. And I think for somebody starting out, wanting to do some racing, and I've said this about a fair few bikes, but that, spot on.
Just user-friendly.
User-friendly, light, manageable, not overwhelming. It's got that thrill and it's got that buzz, especially when you pull that throttle.
On this bike we have some of my favourite manufacturer brakes, because I've always thought that Kawasaki do their own brakes better than absolutely anyone. So if you look at the calipers on this, they're actually branded Kawasaki. Generally, as a rule of thumb, Kawasaki's own brakes are way better than anyone else's, and on here it's no different.
No. Brilliant.
Power, progressive power. There's not too much of a stamp when you first touch it either. It's got quite a soft touch to begin with, and the ABS hasn't cut in too much, and that is always a bonus.
I agree.
So far, we know it handles really well. We know it stops really well. It comes on decent Dunlop GPR 300 tyres as well, which is right for that class of bike, and they work great. You've ridden in the wet, the dry, absolutely fabulous. They work great. So we know it's got good tyres on it as well. We know it's comfortable.
Yeah,
so
really comfortable.
It's not as uncomfortable as, say, a ZX-6 over long distances.
No.
Again, because they're ever so slightly higher bars, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we know it's comfortable. What about fuel economy? How's it done with that?
Well, I've actually averaged 48.5.
What? 48.5? Me?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Bearing in mind it's what?
I know.
a lot of the time on that, because you have to rev it to kind of get going, and then once you start doing that, then it's like got its little hook into you and you can't stop it.
Cannot stop that, no.
Actually, I've not actually got to ride this one yet. Gemma's had it for the last, since we picked it up. But the last one, I was going to prison on that. It was a good thing we gave it back because I couldn't stop myself. Just So 48 mpg, bearing in mind, there's a lot going for this bike.
I'll tell you something, it hasn't got a fuel range, but it's got a fuel gauge. Your little things on the side, and then it's got your light, so you know roughly when you're getting to, so I like that. Thank you. Thanks.
And it's got traction control as well. It's got rider modes.
Yep.
As well. There's loads to like about this bike. It is a little cracker of a thing. But Gemma, bearing in mind how much you love the R7, the R9, any MV Augusta we give you, the Fireblade, the CBR 600, you know, all these bikes where you're like, I want to buy that. Would you buy one of these?
Yes.
Would you buy it because you want a road, or would you buy it and turn it into a track bike?
I think I sent it to track bike.
Really?
Yeah. Purely because it's got a down blipper.
Oh, it's oh, we forgot. How good is that, by the way?
It's really good.
It's so slick.
I'm doing that as a boom, boom. I just kind of come alive when I ride that bike, and I love that about how bikes can do that for you.
Yeah.
But this thing,
It's such a usable, lower range bike. Hey!
Snap review.
I love it! I love it! I love it.
Have you just ridden up here like a complete tit?
A little bit. It's a brilliant bike. There was traffic lights down there, and even a lower driver was like, excuse me, is that the 400RR? And I was like, it is. Talking about his son's 19, and I went, if he wants to do step-ups, this is the way to go. It's brilliant.
So there you go. Bags of fun, awesome blipper, comfortable, little rev monster, great brakes, fully stacked in terms of electronics. What is not to like about this? Now, there's going to be some people going, well, it's just 400.
but I've got this. If you can't have fun on that bike,
I might not be that draconian, but she's kind of got a point. Seriously, anyone can jump on one of these and have fun. We don't expect anyone. People love their big bikes. We get that, don't we?
I get that too, but we test and ride so many different bikes. But as you said, you thought that I was gonna be a bit
Yeah.
but I love this bike. I get on and I go, everything that's in my head just completely disappears. And I know you can get that from different bikes, but this bike has been the one bike that I can just go, everything's gonna be okay.